What's up, everybody? Sloppy Joe here. I'm going to reshoot this video because I shot it with headphones in with a microphone and it didn't work, so I'm going to reshoot this. Anyway, this is a viewer request video by new subscriber Phantom X. He's thinking about buying an SP-01 or a CZ variant, and he wanted to know how I break down and clean one of these after I've been at the range. So I'm going to preface this by saying that I try to shoot clean ammo, number one. I've shot several brands, several reload brands, things like that. As far as new production stuff goes, I really like the Cellar & Bellet 115 grain full metal jacket. For me, it just shoots very clean. It's an accurate production round. It's affordable. And it's easy for me to find locally, and I've shot PMC, stuff like that, and I like the Cellar & Bellet. Checkmate, it works in the pistol real well. It's very clean shooting. I don't have to go through and really dig a lot of grime out of the gun after I've shot. So I'm going to preface this by saying I try to shoot clean ammo in this pistol. So this pistol is cleaned. I cleaned it after a range trip this weekend. I shot 200 rounds, I believe, out of this, and very minimal cleaning. Not a lot of elbow grease, not a lot of having to scrub on anything. So I just did what I call my basic pistol cleaning. So I'll go through that real quick. Some products I use. I use Hops 9 for the bore and barrel only. I do not use this on the finish or any of the working parts in the gun. I just use this for the bore. I've had issues with Hops taking the finish off of certain pistols and rifles, so I am very careful about where I use it, and generally I will only use Hops on the bore itself after 500 to 700 shots, just to clean up and dissolve the copper residue that's left on the rifling and in the grooves. But other than that, I don't use it very often, just for that. What I use, my workhorse, is just good old break-free CLP. And what I'll do with this is basically douche the entire working mechanisms and just blow, just dig the crap out that's in there. And I like microfiber towels for that. So I can just kind of give the towel a quick spray and then just use it to get into all the areas. Let it sit for 10 minutes just to kind of dissolve and clean up the grime and the oils and the gunk. Wipe it out so it's dry, and then hit it with a little oil, or just use this. This works just fine too as a lubricant. So quickly, so like I said, this gun, now that I've dripped some CLP on the grip, was just cleaned. It's empty. I'll let you see that. So it is an empty pistol. So basic breakdown of a CZ is you have these marks right here. Let me get that in the right light. There we go. So you have a mark on the slide itself, and then you have a mark on the frame. So what you need to do is, and I like to half cock the pistol, and what that allows you to do is when you line these marks up, it actually just stops right there automatically. So you don't have to, if you do it in full cock, you kind of have to fight it. So if you leave it in half cock, they just line up and it's a bump stop. So it's actually kind of cool. So what you got to do is line up your marks, and that's already taken care of when you slide back on there because it's stopped. I know it's there, and I like to use the plastic butt end of the magazine and tap out the slide release right there. Boom, just like that, and pops out. Set that aside. Now your slide will slide away. So here you have your inner mechanisms, your trigger assembly, your hammer assembly, all that stuff. I've had really good luck with this pistol in that this area back here doesn't get terribly filthy, grimy, nasty. Usually all I have to do is just take a microfiber towel, just kind of wipe everything down, and then what I'll do is just kind of give it a quick dab of CLP, let it sit for 10 or 15 minutes and just kind of soak in, wipe that away, and then a couple dabs of gun oil. And right now I've been using I've been using this, the M Pro 7 gun oil, if I do oil. And I'll just put a couple dabs just where all the parts slide and move. And that's it. And I set this aside, because at this point, this just needs kind of a wipe out. Just wipe it out. And like I said, all the little mechanisms in here really don't get that filthy. So at that point, I just consider it clean. I set it aside. Then we move to the slide and barrel. So you would remove your recoil spring, set that aside. Your barrel comes out. Now, what I like to do with the barrel is, like I said, generally I'm not throwing hops in there often. If I do, I will take some patches, soak them with hops, run them down the bore, either on like a bore brush, a cotton bore brush, or just on a patch. And then if I need to, I'll hit it with just a brush, just to get the grime, the real deep stuff out of there. But that's, like I said, I do that once every 500 to 700 shots. Generally, if I've just shot 50, 100 rounds, what I will do is I'll take a patch or two, shove it in one end of the bore, just to plug it. I'll take some CLP, I'll spray it down inside the bore, take another patch or two, shove it in the other side as another plug, and then just set it aside and leave it be for 10 or 15 minutes. And just let the CLP just kind of soak in, break down the the powders and things like that, and just let it do its thing. And then I come back to the slide, and same thing. I might spray down this area with some gun scrubber, but generally just a little CLP. Spray the area, the friction, the slide areas where these are all friction areas. These all slide against metal. Take my microfiber towel, just kind of get my finger in there, just really wipe out all the grime and crap. Just get it clean as I can, or as clean as I want it to be. And that's it. I'll set that aside. So at this point, I would come back to my barrel. I'll pop my plugs out, just my patches. Pop those out, drain the CLP out, and then basically I just take a snake, a bore snake, and I just run it through the bore 3 or 4 times just to, soak up the extra oil and stuff from the CLP, and just leave it. That's it. And I don't know if you can see, but that's all I've done with this ever since I've bought it. I think I've only hopped it one time. Other than that, just CLP. Just throw some CLP down it. Might clean the feed ramp, stuff like that. But, this bore, I don't know, a couple thousand rounds down it, and it's fine. So, at this stage, basically ready to reassemble. So, at this, all I would do is drop the barrel back in, recoil spring, and then what I would do normally is I would take a little of the M Pro, or if I'm feeling especially, cool that day, I'm a big fan of white lithium grease. I use it a lot on my AKs, on all the sliding parts. So sometimes I'll take just a dab, just hit it a couple areas, and then just smear it around, and just not too thick. You want it thin, because otherwise it has a way of working its way out of all the little parts and pieces, and then you kind of get this white slimy goo just kind of oozing out when you're shooting. So I'll wipe it in real thin, and basically that's it. Just put a little either lithium grease here or a couple drops of oil, whatever your preference is. Doesn't have to be this, just whatever you like. Just put a couple dabs on the sliding parts, or the friction parts, and then at that point you are ready to reassemble. If I can do this looking through my viewfinder. No, I can't. Okay, there we go. So drop that in place. You line up your marks like so. You take your stop, and it just drops into place like so. And then you have a working pistol. So that's it. That's all I do. It takes me 10 or 15 minutes per gun. AKs, I kind of do the same thing with, My Mosins, just to break, because the Mosins have corrosive ammo that I put through them, I will, of course, throw down some hot boiling water to break down the salts in the primers. But we're talking about this. So anyway, that's it. That's all I've done to it. That's all I've done to it since I've owned it. And then afterwards, I just wipe off all the excess oil, fingerprints, things like that. Dog hair, whatever sticks to these microfiber towels. And that's it. I mean, it is good to go at this point. So, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to ask. See you later.